Now, me and Steve are a couple of big shots. We do this for a laugh, but this is Karl Pilkington's only source of income. This is what you do now, isn't it?
This is my full-time job, yeah.
What do you think of that? Is
It depresses me.
Why?
This isn't what I ever wanted. Because I haven't got a purpose, have I? I'm sat here talking about the Pillow Man. If it weren't for him, I'd have nothing to say. It just depresses me. That I just wish I had a job where I felt like I was needed. And I don't feel needed. It's not a proper job.
We need you.
We
need you for money for old rope.
Yeah. I know, but this isn't. I wanted something that, you know, when you die and that, it's, you know, you get up to the gates, whatever, and they say, "What have you done?" And then I'm looking worried, thinking, "Is the Pillow Man about?"
Download and listen to this on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast provider. Just check the description below.
We've got a little email straight away, Karl, from Nikki in Beverly Hills, California. She says, "Karl, you rock. I hate it when Ricky and Steve ridicule you. I checked out your picture. Although your head is not normal, that's no reason to ridicule you. You look gimp, but I never judge a book by the cover."
Cheers.
Is that all you've got to say?
Well, it's only because I've got no hair, though, isn't it? That's why it gives that effect.
No, it's perfectly round your head. It's perfectly spherical head. Your face is slightly too big for it. It almost goes over the sides. Perfectly round head. Pug little nose. Funny gimp eyes with no expression. Hangdog look. Like a little mouth, like a little lamprey. Not formed, not human formed. The way your expression is like you've had a lobotomy. Your head goes weird at the back. It's got a little nod in it, like it's really strange, your face, and you're stupid.
We've had a lot of emails saying that. I mean, I think he's just paraphrasing, but talking of emails, you know, a couple of, I can't remember which show it was, but you mentioned, Karl, that you'd only recently seen a Chinese homeless person.
Oh yeah.
And it really surprised you because you'd never seen a Chinese homeless person.
No.
And I actually went along with that. I've still never seen a Chinese homeless person.
Well, now I can just tell you now that there's a few responses from Los Angeles, people saying there are quite a lot of Chinese homeless people over there because apparently there's a huge homeless community in Los Angeles. So definitely if you want to see them, Karl, that's the place to go. But we've had one from Vancouver, Canada, from a girl called Amy, and Amy herself is Chinese, and she says that she realised herself that she'd never really seen a Chinese homeless person. And although she says that apparently Vancouver has the first or second largest Chinese population in Canada, she'd never seen them, and she actually went for a walk around the Chinatown in her area looking for them, and she could not find any on that particular day. So again, Canada obviously not a place to go for a Chinese homeless.
It was just a point, though. I don't want people sort of...
Well, hold on, though. Wait, I'll stop you there. Hello, Ricky, Steve and Karl. I live in New York City and have seen a Chinese homeless person. Not only is he Chinese, but he is also a midget. He's been living on the streets for the last 30 years. He used to dress in rags, but thanks to a coat drive, he's now wearing a fancy Adidas jacket, right? Now he encloses a picture. He says he gave him $10 to take the picture, and I've seen it, and he's a little Chinese midget fella.
I'm just getting a bit worried that people are going out there sort of looking for these. Because they, you know,
that's what you requested.
No. But all I was saying is, I saw one. I didn't start saying, "Excuse me, can you just give us a smile? I'm taking your picture." Do you know
we've
what I
had
mean?
loads of pictures of people.
I know, and it worries me a little bit. And I mean, it's not too bad about the one who took one of the little midget one, because you know, if he kicked off, it'd be quite easy to sort of hold him back. But I'm talking about fully grown.
So is that your warning to people? Don't be taking pictures of fully grown Chinese homeless.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, you know, don't be messing about going up to strangers and that and annoying them and stuff, right? Maybe.
Well, I think that's a good rule of thumb. Don't annoy them. But I mean, that is a hell of a sighting, isn't it? We asked for a Chinese homeless, and they gave us a Chinese midget homeless.
Many of the listeners are aware, Karl, that you're sort of fascinated by smaller people.
Well, he's fascinated by difference, I think.
Yes.
I don't think he's having a go at people. You're not
Never having a go.
when you sort of stare at someone because they don't look like you, and let's face it, most people don't look like you. You're not having a go, are you?
Well, like I say, first time I saw Steve, I was never having a go. It was just, oh, that's different. but you know, like you know, Steve, I was never having a go. It's just that thing of, oh, right, interesting.
What do you mean?
No, just you know, I've said before about I've got used to it, and
Steve
it's the
got
same.
used to it. What
I don't know. Well, you know my feeling with this. I don't really know where he's coming
but
from.
Steve knows I'm not having a go either.
Yeah.
Karl used to carry around a book that was called the top 50 freaks of all time.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because we actually had an email from Richie who says that he's been a fan of ours for many years, and he's listened to lots of the radio shows we've done in the past and things. And he says, of all the people you've discussed, Karl, in the past, including some of the people from your odd magazines, who would you most like to spend the day with, of all those people that you've encountered?
Favourite of all.
Well, certainly who you would want to spend time with, who you feel would be the most fascinating, the most interesting. You know, I mean, let's just recap on some of the...
Pillow Man, the bloke with no arms, no legs that can roll a cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
No, not impressed with him.
That's not sufficient.
What about the three-legged juggler?
So hang on, let's just recap. This was a man with 3 legs?
3 legs,
Right.
And it said his job, he became a juggler.
Okay.
Not using the gift that he'd been given.
What you suggest?
Anything. Running, swimmer. Just, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What else
what are
was
the
there?
others? What are the other ones?
There was a picture of a gentleman who was fascinated by him. He used to play the piano.
Oh, he's got a tiny head, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's that. That's the one who he sort of ages fast.
Right.
So like every other week he's having a birthday and stuff. And yeah, that was weird.
He's not having a birthday every other week. His body's just aged, so as the appearance, his biology is sort of like he's 70, but he's only like 15. They don't have a birthday every week. You idiot.
But yeah, I don't know about knocking about with one at a long time though. That's
Only for a day?
I suppose it depends what I'm up to. Because if we're going out and about, the pillow man would just be a bit of a drag.
Whereas if you're going for a walk across, the 3-legged guy, ideal.
So yeah.
Lots and lots of people emailing just with questions for Karl. Just a couple of quick ones for you, Karl. Wendy says, if Karl had to eat the same dinner every day for the rest of his life, what would he eat?
You see, it depends, doesn't it? I mainly eat just so I keep going. I'm not that bothered about, because I don't really taste it anyway. I just shove it down.
You're like a horse?
I mean, to be honest, it annoys me the way people worry about food now and how there's so much to choose from. I think it's got out of hand. I'll watch...
Any form of choice really worries you, doesn't it?
No,
you don't like choice.
No, choice is good, but not too much. It's like with anything now, if you go into a toffee shop, there's like loads of different...
Where are you going to find a toffee shop?
You're in a fairy tale.
Yeah. You're in a Dickens tale in the 19th century.
You're in Shrek.
And you go into a toffee shop.
What's your point? You go into a toffee shop.
What I'm saying, you go into a shop full of toffees.
You've just come from the candlestick maker.
Right? You go in there and there's just too much choice. It's like, what? And I can stand there up to like 4 minutes, sort of going...
Up to 4 minutes.
So specific.
4 minutes.
So he's in a toffee shop in a top hat.
Well, he's only got 4 minutes. He's only got 4 minutes because he's got to get down to the pea green boat that he's sailing off in.
No,
good morrow.
Well, forget the toffees.
Could I have some of your finest Oxfordshire toffees?
So you'd prefer it was just one selection of toffee? That's all they've got?
Well, maybe 2. What I'm saying is, right, there's now too much choice. Whenever you get a menu in a restaurant, it's not like you don't just go, oh, right, what is there? Yeah, I'll have that. There's too much. It's like a book, and you look at it all. And then you've got to that point now that people are even taking a risk when they're eating.
What do you mean?
In Japan or China or something, they're eating that fish that if it's not cooked right, it can kill you. Right? Not worth the risk. And there's so many other fish.
Yeah, I agree. Why
have mackerel, have a bit of cod or whatever.
Yeah,
as soon as there's a risk, take it off. Take it off the menu.
Agree. I totally agree.
Not worth it.
We've got a fish that might or might not kill you. Well, is there anything that definitely won't kill you? Yeah, but a chicken won't kill you.
I'll play safe then. I love that.
I love that. I love the chicken.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, we were talking about sayings and that. Right? Stitching time saves 9. Don't. I'm never going to use that. I don't think anyway. Okay. Suzanne.
You're never going to understand it fully, are you?
Suzanne repairs me stuff anyway. It doesn't really matter. But what about the one? About the one in greenhouses and that?
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Well, I'm intrigued to know if he's fully got to grips with this.
Okay.
Just give us your explanation again of what you'd take that to mean.
Well, just don't be chucking stuff about. Really?
So, well, if that was it, they just say that.
No, but that saying's been around a lot longer than we think. That's when people probably did live in basic glass houses and stuff.
No, whoa,
what they mean now.
Who has ever lived in a glass house?
So cavemen went from rock to a nice crystal structure, did they? What are you talking about? When did people live in glass houses?
What they mean now, when that saying's used now, they mean sort of, plasma tellies, ornaments.
No, they don't.
They're saying don't chuck stuff about because you'll break it.
No, it's not about damaging your own property.
They don't mean you're inside the glass house throwing rocks inside your own glass house.
It's a metaphor. Karl, what is an analogy?
It's sort of like a little story told quickly. Isn't it?
It's a little story told quickly. To what end?
Well, it depends what the story is. You see, I just prefer sort of, what you say is what you mean. So people who live in a glass house have to answer the door.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean, because you may be a genius, because I don't get that. People who live in glass houses have to answer the door.
Okay, let's hear his explanation.
Because the people knocking at the door will be able to see you because it's a glass house.
But you have to add a number of other things, other caveats. Surely, if you live in a glass house, don't walk around naked.
Yeah.
If you live in it.
These are literals.
But just the idea that in your head there should be sayings for people who live in glass houses. Who is it that's living in a glass house?
Well, I'm not talking about them. It's just that if everyone else is bringing up about these people who are living in glass houses, let's get to the real problems they've got.
He still hasn't got to grips with the idea of the metaphor or the simile.
Well, here's another saying, right, that I learnt recently from a mate, right? There's an elephant in the room.
Okay, I haven't heard that one, but explain it to me.
It's like how, whenever we go out for something to eat or a drink or something, it's normally after about 5 minutes, the sort of topic gets onto the shape of my head.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's interesting how, I'm the elephant in the room, right? Nobody's talking about it. You mention it once, suddenly it's the talk of the town. It's what I mean. Everybody starts joining in, going, well, yeah, it is round, but it does suit you. And these are people who I don't even know sometimes, and they're all dipping in. And that is an elephant in the room.
So you don't want people to discuss the shape of your head or the lack of hair? You would feel better, you would feel happier that they didn't mention that?
Sometimes I think it's better that it's out there. It's made me a stronger person, though. It's the same way, we were talking about religion and that. Samson Delilah, he got weaker without hair. Whereas with me, I think it's made me stronger.
But would you ever wear a wig?
Not really.
What was a long wig like Samson?
Well, the only time I wanted a wig was when I did jury duty once, wasn't it? And it was annoying that I was sat on the jury, right in front of, these criminals, right? Everybody else has got disguises. The judges have them wigs on, right?
That's not disguises!
That's a disguise. That's why judges wear them, right?
No! Well, then why did they print their name in the paper and have a picture? What do you mean it's a disguise?
It's a disguise, isn't it?
No! If it was a disguise, they'd go in with one of those glasses with a nose and the beard attached if it was a disguise. All judges would look like Groucho Marx if it was a disguise.
Well, I'm just saying that's what annoyed me when I was sat there on the front row, right? I couldn't have been any closer to the criminals and that, right? I was sat there and I thought, why didn't I just pop a little wig on or a pair of glasses?
I would have loved to have seen you in the front row at Crown Court.
No, because
I'd love to see it because in this country you're not allowed to show pictures of jurors. You can't take photos in a courtroom, so there's always these sketch artists that draw drawings and it's on the news. The idea that we'd have seen 11 people and a sort of Krusty the Clown figure would have been amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see the artist do an interview, because it would be like complicated people. Oh, hey, he looks into characterful, and then just a little round head.
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown sitting on the end.
Karl, you said that your New Year's resolution was that you were going to learn something every day.
Yeah,
Have you learned anything today?
If I can. Today, like, I don't know the full facts of it, but...
Could I just say that when someone says they learn something new every day, that doesn't count if they forget it the next day.
No,
because that would be Groundhog Day learning.
Well, the thing I learnt today was about an octopus.
Oh,
Go on.
What they can do is, they've got 8 legs and that.
Yeah.
They can use 6 of them legs to cover their head, so they look like a little stone. And use the other 2 to run off. Right? But that's
He's thinking of Squidly Diddly.
Yeah, it's a Disney image in his head.
He's thinking
They're
of
pink.
But anyway, that's
So
that's
it's
not the
Pink
main
singing
thing.
a song in your mind and running off, yeah.
No, but anyway, but something else I learnt, right? It's mainly about animals and that, because that's
Yeah.
normally quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's a chicken somewhere,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Specific.
and the owner of it was getting fed up because, he had to feed it and that. But it wasn't.
Embellishment.
It wasn't,
Guesswork.
No, come on, let's hear it.
it wasn't giving anything back.
No eggs.
No eggs, right? So he was like, I'm sick of this. Anyway, someone told him, pop a little axe next to its little house, right? So when it comes out in the morning thinking, I'll have another lazy day doing nothing, right? He saw this axe and suddenly it was like, oh, right?
And for the chocolate thought, yeah.
It laid about 6 eggs.
It's rubbish.
Through
Squeeze
worry.
them out.
It's rubbish.
quick.
A chicken wouldn't recognise an axe as a threat. It wouldn't be able to reason that I better start working or I'll be meat. I better start. It's absolute rubbish. Once again, it's this ridiculous thing you got that one personifying animals to reasoning powers better than yours. I mean, I think you make chickens and monkeys cleverer than you in your stories, which is weird. It didn't happen and wouldn't work. Next, what else haven't you learnt today?
Do you think then that it's worth looking after animals then if there isn't any memory? If they don't know what's happening anyway, you're always going on about don't be cruel to things.
Why would you ever want to be cruel to an animal, whether it can reason or not?
No. I mean, I don't mean really cruel, but I mean like there's an advert on that's on in the in Britain, advertising some supermarket, right? And it's saying, we look at before we kill our chickens and what have you. They have a great life. This is like the voiceover, and you see Happy Chicken.
Yeah.
And it's going, we give it a good little house to live in. It's got straw.
Yeah.
It eats good.
Yeah.
And then we kill it. Right?
Yes, but that's better, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think it is, though, is it? Because at the end of the day, if I was that chicken, right, I'm that chicken, loving my life. I can't believe me luck, right? It's got its nice little field that it's working on.
Yeah.
It's got its nice food and everything. But it's going to die.
Yeah, we're all going to die.
But then, if you were like a rubbish chicken, that had like a rubbish life, you'd be going, oh, kill me.
Karl, they're not thinking what's going to happen tomorrow.
They don't know that they're going to get for the chop, are they?
A chicken's not going, I'm fed up with this. I can't wait for that axe to be used on my neck.
Yeah. Well, that's another now you've mentioned the cutting off of an head, right?
Yeah.
On the chicken. That's something else I've learned, right?
It's like a pinball is mine.
Amazing.
Isn't it? Ding dong, bong, dang, ding, ding, dong, dong. Oh, head, ding, ding, chicken, ding, 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 head off, bing, dong.
No, right, but this was in a proper science magazine as well. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't have a go. This wasn't something on the internet. This was printed in a magazine.
You read it.
Okay, and what was it?
And here comes the filter. It's going to come out nonsense.
Right, well-
you could have Professor Stephen Hawking sitting there whispering stuff in your ear, and it could all be true. But when you said it, gobbledygook.
Well, let's see then. Let's see, right? What they've done another experiment, right?
Yeah.
They've cut somebody's head off, right? And they've worked out that when the head comes off the body, it stays alive and that
No.
for 30 seconds.
Well, no, they don't know that. They can never know that.
No, they did it. They did this
No.
experiment.
What's alive? What's
head.
alive? But there's loads of issues here. One, no one's experimenting with human beings cutting their head off, Karl.
Well,
two, no.
Sorry, you read this in what? Executioner's Monthly?
This
Yeah,
is in
no,
a
two,
proper...
Karl. It's what your definition of alive is, because you can be alive and have no conscience.
No, but this is where it gets weird, right?
Yeah,
I haven't told you that.
this is where it goes. You talking about it?
So the head's off, right?
Yeah.
And what they did was they chucked a load of questions at it.
all sanctioned by the government.
Yeah, this is all fine.
So the head lands perfectly on the neck and goes, what do you want to know?
And it said,
so they're asking questions, and it's going, do you know what? To be quite honest, I don't answer your question. I'm a little bit annoyed about the execution still.
well, that was the interesting thing. They said it's about...
No, it's not. It didn't happen, Karl.
Let me hear.
Oh, don't talk
Let
shit.
me hear it.
What are you talking about? Who? These people around in white coats going, quick, ask it a question. It's bleeding.
Right, so they said for about 25 to 30 seconds, the last 5 seconds it is sort of like, can't be bothered answering them.
Right, but prior to that,
But apart from that, they were chucking stuff. I don't think it spoke. I don't think it was like, 2 and 2, 4 and stuff. It was more, it was to do with blinking.
so blink once if you say blink twice.
So I told it, said, listen, when you die, you're probably not going to be able to talk because your jaw's going to be on the ground. You're not going to be able to open your mouth. If you do, you'll fall over backwards and hit your head. Now listen, blink 1 for yes and 2 for no. Yeah, right. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, is the axe nice and sharp? Yeah.
Promise?
You're
Do you
talking
promise?
shit again.
You promise to do it? Yes. All
Yeah,
right.
well, yeah. The thing is, they wouldn't be able to do it with you, because if they cut your head off, it would just roll. It would roll away, because it's perfectly spherical. They would go, oh no, there's
Plus,
no...
it takes about 20 seconds whenever you ask Karl anything for the question to process and for him to start to formulate an answer. Karl, Joe from Bradford asks, what body parts can you live without? He wants to know. He's obviously having sleepless nights thinking about this.
What, so...
With a brain.
He's coped this far.
Yeah, I did a bit of an experiment on this, right?
Brilliant.
It's my job at home to wash up, right? Suzanne does...
She gives you all the really big responsible ones.
Yeah.
She sort of like pays the bills and wires the house. And you go, what can I do? And you can go, well, you can go and play with the worms in the garden.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's my job to wash up and that, right? And I thought to sort of make it interesting and stuff. I thought, I wonder if I can do it, right? If I didn't have any thumbs.
And so what did you do?
So I just sort
You
of
sliced off your thumbs.
I just sort of held them in, and it's amazing how, like, it took me ages. Just having, like, that one thing gone.
Well, it's part of our evolution, the opposable thumb. Basically, that's when we soared. These are milestones in human evolution. The opposable thumb, the forward-facing eyes, the upright. These are massive things in taking us out of the animal kingdom.
And one day, Karl, you'll walk upright.
But what do you mean about eyes facing forward? You mean before we got here, there was people whose eyes were looking in their head?
So, when you were doing this experiment, washing up, you say that you found it difficult, it took you ages. So you didn't just give up once you realised how essential thumbs were.
No,
you actually washed up everything.
I just think of Suzanne walking in and Karl's there, just covered in water and very liquid suds, standing on a pile of broken crockery.
Yeah, plunging his face into the sink every 30 seconds and just swishing his head around.
But we talked about the washing up thing before, I know, and I sort of look out of a window, so the sink's in front of the window.
Yeah.
And that's why I quite like washing up, because I can just look out onto the street, see people going past. There's like a local homeless fella called Franco. You know, I look out, that he's all right and everything.
Sure.
But I was looking across the way, right, and there's some there's some Chinese people who live in a flat, right, really small flat, and they're up till all hours. I don't know what they're doing. But they decide to back up at about 3:30 in the morning. Right? They're always really noisy and that. But above them, there was some woman, right, who, the sort of bedroom is on par to our kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of washing up,
Yeah.
and I sort of look across and see this woman with, like, you know, no pants on and that, no bra and that.
Naked.
Yeah, just...
That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, she's just wandering about, you know, on that. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I carried on washing up and that, right? And kept looking, and then I was looking and she looked at me. Right, so we made eye contact.
Sure.
So I was like, oh God, right? So what I thought the best thing to do was sort of drop me pants a little bit. just a little bit, just like, you know, I had boxer shorts on and that. I thought if I just show a little bit of sort of arse cheek, then it's kind of like, right, we quits. Right?
I don't understand the thinking.
So Suzanne's watching the telly, right? I think she was watching Sex and the City or something.
Yeah.
She sort of turns around to see how I'm getting on with the washing up, right? She sees me with like my pants sort of down a little bit with my arse out. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Don't look now." I said, "But there's a woman over the road, right? With no pants on and that." She caught me looking. I'm just giving her a bit back.
I love the fact that he explains the rules and Suzanne's meant to go, okay.
That makes sense. But I don't. So hang on. So you showed a bit of your arse. You turned presumably to show the arse. So waggled the arse at the woman.
I had to lift it up a little bit on the on the draining board.
What? Hang on though. What did she do? Did you register her reaction when she saw a bit of your arse? What happened?
When she saw my arse,
yeah.
Well, then I wasn't looking because I thought, in a way, I don't want it to look like, well, I've seen a bit of your stuff, here's a bit of mine. I just thought, at the end of the day, I caught a glance of you.
It's only fair.
You've had a bit back. You know, I'm not making a big deal out of it.
I genuinely think James Stewart missed a trick here in Rear Window.
Yeah.
This would have been, a much better film had James Stewart just popped his pants down.
It would have given a whole new meaning to the title Rear Window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tricky though. I seem to be surrounded by people like that. Remember that film, that Sliver or something?
Okay, right.
When they've got video cameras.
Yeah.
I'm just looking onto everybody's world and just seeing what people are getting up to. There's nothing wrong with that.
Brilliant.
That's why I like washing up.
We were talking about famous mantras and sayings and things.
Yeah.
Never has a Manc said so much to so many that means so little.
Brilliant.
So you can have that on your headstone. Rupert.
Your little round headstone.
Rupert's in the Isle of Man. He says, I don't know if you knew this, Karl, but apparently octopus's testicles are located in their heads.
Yeah. But then, to me, that isn't that amazing, because at the end of the day, an octopus, really, all it is an head, isn't it?
So everything it's got has to be in the head?
It has to be in the head. It'd look daft if they dangled down below. Right? So all it is, I mean, there's a lot of facts.
It'd look daft if they dangled down below. I'm wondering, but that could almost be the B-side to
B-side to
Knob at Night.
I could eat a knob at night.
James Round says, Karl, if you could be anyone in the world, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Why would you choose to be a dead person?
No, but sometimes, like, there's people who are now dead, but everybody raves about them. What I mean is, if...
Oh, just answer the question. Who would you be and why? It's someone you admire or you think had a good life. Just answer the question.
But what I mean is, it's good to be remembered, like Winston Churchill is remembered as being a decent bloke, but I wouldn't want the hassle that he had. So I don't want to live his life.
Right.
But it's good to be...
You'd like to be Winston Churchill, but you'd like to have a paper round instead of...
saving the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, but is he saying whose job would I want to take on?
It's not that complicated.
The question is this: if he could be anyone in the world, who would Karl be? That's the question. That's all the information I've got.
A lot of responsibility on a lot of jobs, isn't there?
So, some of the names flowing through your head now?
I was thinking Bruce Willis.
I never expected that! I never expected that!
So his responsibility in your mind is what? Saving people who are trapped in a building with terrorists?
Well, yeah, maybe, his worries are different worries. With, people who have a lot of money come other worries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Bruce Willis, he's always going on these marches, isn't he, saying stop war and all that. Mainly because he's got more to lose if there's a war. He's got loads of houses. One of them's going to get damaged. Whereas if you're poor, you've got the one house. If there's a war, it's like, oh, just end it all for me then. I'm sick of it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Whereas Bruce, yeah.
With successful life and happy life, there's more for you to lose, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like at the moment, because I've finished a job that I've been at for 10 years. Right. I've finished working there, so suddenly I've got my timetable's a bit out, and I haven't got enough of a routine, and I'm a man who likes to know what I'm doing. Right? Yeah. So now suddenly
5 until 7, washing up with no thumbs.
I've sort of turned into like an old person, where the little jobs that you shouldn't enjoy are now the main event. So
but hold on, how old are you? You're 31, aren't you?
32.
32, and you're pottering around, not knowing what to do with yourself.
Well, like yesterday, Suzanne's shoes needed to go to the Cobblers, right?
I haven't heard the word cobbler.
I didn't even know cobblers still existed.
I only ever see that in Christmas films made by Disney.
Well, I had to go and do that, and that suddenly...
Because last time you were going to the toffee shop. And now you're going to the cobblers. Next week it's the candlestick maker.
But all I mean is that suddenly is a nice little day out. I'm sort of putting my coat on, going, right, I'll go and see the cobbler now and go and have a chat.
Tell me about the cobbler.
You didn't come back with 3 magic beans, did you?
No, the cobbler's all right. He's doing, he's fixing
cobbling.
shoes and that.
He's cobbling. He's cobbling all day.
Have I told you about my Uncle Alf, who was a cobbler?
No.
I'm sure I told you about him. He's the one who he lived in like a bedsit, and he had 2 tellies. He had like one that the sound didn't work on, and one that the picture didn't. But both together, it worked.
Oh, right, okay.
So as long as he was watching the same channel on both, sound came out of one telly, and he'd watch the picture on the other.
Brilliant.
And he slept in like a rubber dinghy, right? But he was...
Whoa! You can't just let that slide. Why did he sleep in a rubber dinghy?
He just liked boats and stuff, and he sort of...
Yeah, I like boats, but they're better on the water. Beds are better to sleep on. Boats are better to sail on.
Well, he just had it in there. It's a bed set. It was really tight space.
Boat sit.
He's got this.
He moved into a dinghy sit.
He's got this dinghy, so he's thinking, well, rather than it get in the way, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Right? But he was a cobbler, and he used to like repair like my shoes and that, right?
Yeah.
But he'd always sort of overdo them, right? So,
What do you mean?
like,
Fancy.
do you know like Pimp My Ride on MTV?
Yeah.
Because he does up shoes, he'd go mental on them.
What do you mean? There was the stereo.
Yeah.
Well, no,
There was horns.
He'd sound,
Here
Go
comes
faster
Karl.
stripes down the side.
Yeah. Here comes Mr. Pilkington. He's got the fastest shoes in the land.
no, he'd just make shoes that would last forever. So instead of putting like one sole on, he'd put about 5 on. So it looked like one of them built-up shoes that you never see. He'd just put loads of stuff on. They'd last forever, but they did.
But they look
because
like
I was-
orthopedic shoes.
Yeah, yeah. It just like suddenly I was like 6'7" whenever he'd sort of sorted my shoes out. But he's a cobbler, and it's work. That's always there for you, isn't it?
I suppose so.
So you went out with to take Suzanne's shoes to the cobbler.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so I just took him to the cobblers and that was like a nice little job for the day. I got a leaflet through the door saying, if you want to walk a dog, the rates are good. I don't know what they pay and that. And I thought if I do that and get a paper round, 2 in 1.
Sorry, you just went from a job, right, where you were the head of production at a radio station. Dare I say it? Can I discuss your?
Well, it was an all right wage. Yeah.
It was very good.
But I wasn't happy, so it's pointless.
No, I know that, but to go from the head of a department on a lot of money to walking dogs and doing a paper round, I don't know.
No, but it's about being happy, isn't it?
I know, but that's commendable if that's true. But okay,
And
all
that
right.
makes you happier.
Well, I haven't walked the dog yet, but I'm just saying if I do, I mean, I'm not taking it if it's raining. I'm just thinking if it's a nice sunny day and I fancy a potter, I'll go round to her and say, well, how much are you paying? I'll take the dog a walk and stuff.
But I can't believe some of the words that have cropped up: potter, cobblers, toffee shop. It's very, very strange.
Do you live in Narnia?
A lot of people are sort of emailing in sort of brainy stuff
Brilliant.
and getting a lot of stuff about philosophy
Oh yeah.
and all that. Descartes, that's another one that's mentioned on an email.
Descartes,
Yeah.
the French philosopher.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, he sort of cropped up on an email. Someone said, what do you think of him? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
He famously he pondered his own existence. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He was thinking about that. He was thinking, how do I know all this is true, everything around me? And he thought, well, I can see it and I can smell it and I can hear it. And he went, oh yeah, my senses can be fooled. I could be dreaming. But if I'm dreaming, then at least I'm alive. At least I have some sort of consciousness. So if I'm even thinking about anything, I exist. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum.
But we don't need to know the Latin bit. Why is everyone always going back to Latin? It was ages ago. Why is that language always being... And were Latin people always in a rush? Because they seem to be like words for full sentences. Why couldn't they just take the time and say what they want to say? And it's just like, what was the rush?
I love you to teach Latin.
What about Plato?
Right, Greek.
Right, now, would you say he's a bright bloke?
Yes, I would. I'd say he's a very, very bright bloke.
Right, let me tell you this. Right, if he's that bright, you know how he got killed?
No.
Got hit on the head by an egg.
Fucking hell! Well, he's not so clever then, is he?
That's what I'm saying.
Boo!
What's the story with the egg?
He was on holiday or something, right? And
He was on holiday.
In Greece, probably.
he was having a walk about, and a bird was flying over the sort of.
This
over the
bird
beach.
was what? A great auk? What size bird killed him with his egg?
It was a big one, yeah.
Was it?
And the way they used to crack
An ostrich on a hang glider.
the eggs open to let the kids out, they used to drop them on rocks.
What bird is this? Dropping its egg to let the kids out? You're a maniac! You are a maniac!
And Plato had a little bald head.
Right.
So from the top, the bird's there looking down, and it goes, oh, there's a little rock, I'll drop the egg. Hit him on the head, killed him. Now, this is what I was saying before about...
I'm letting too much go now, because I'm so desensitised to his nonsense. I let him go. The bird saw Plato and said, there's a rock down there.
Yeah. Well, if these birds are killing people with bald heads, you've got to be terrified.
So, but listen, this is what I'm saying though, right? Before about knowledge and that, how knowledge is hassle or success is hassle.
I think that was Newton. Knowledge is hassle.
Now, but why is Plato's intelligence got anything to do with the fact that this bird dropped an egg on his head?
Because he was intelligent and he's probably earning a nice few quid by giving out whatever messages he gave out.
Yeah.
He could afford to go on holiday to exotic places. If he was working in a factory, he wouldn't have been on this beach with big birds dropping eggs, is what I'm saying. So, in a way, it backfired. His knowledge killed him.
And that, I think, was Kierkegaard. His knowledge killed him.
He shouldn't have been on the beach. He was only there having a break or whatever from doing what he does. It wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on holiday.
This is an email we've had saying, Karl, what do you take by the well-known saying, a stitch in time saves 9?
Oh, a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No, but I, again, it's one of them like last week. I've heard of it, but
what does willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
So
but what does a stitch in time save 9
you
mean?
understood willy-nilly, so you used a
Yeah, but it
phrase.
sounds
you
nice,
used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well, yeah, sort of. So
Okay,
if
it's not that clear.
if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need 1 stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches. And that, of course, is an analogy to other things.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means that isn't being done because you're messing about sorting out a hole in your coat. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than a stitch in time saves 9? So yours this is what you wanted to be a quote, right? Where, well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Karl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really
That is sensible.
bad.
That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice
Well,
for
it is,
anyone
though.
listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it, because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, oh yeah, you haven't been, and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a little a qualified doctor?
I don't know what they're doing up there.
What they
What
just
year
pop?
are we in?
They. What are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Why are they still using the index finger?
What would you prefer, the forefinger or the thumb? Would
No.
you?
No, what I mean is, we've got...
Or a thumb on a stick? Some kind of thumb on a stick?
Yeah. Would you prefer it to
A
be
mechanical thumb, a robot thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera?
Well, they put the camera up if they initially discover something.
But just put the camera up straight away. If I'm
No,
paying
they
for
don't
the
need
visit.
to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do
Are
that.
you
in this
embarrassed?
day
Are
and
you
age.
embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella popping
A
his...
little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? You've got to go there. You
Yeah.
sat on the bus, stressing out, thinking, oh, in less than half an hour I'm going to have a finger up the arse, right?
What is the problem?
And they go
though?
in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They take your testicles, yeah.
Yeah,
That's...
but it's all building, and you've sat there going, oh, soon that'll be happening.
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, he's over there, right?
Yeah.
And they crept up and went, bang. You go, what are you
prefer that?
doing?
I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they?
Wow.
How can they, dude? Imagine you squatting in a corner with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse going, it seems to be all right.
Carl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves nine." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
Who
it's the-
knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at least
You would get stuck.
Yeah.
You would get stuck.
Susanna would come out, your fist would be up your own arse. Harry from Canterbury wants to know whether any of us have ever had any cruel nicknames. He claims that he's quite tall and rather hirsute, and he says he's often called Lurch or Wolfie. He's always thought that Karl looks a bit like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. No, there's no potato that round. But I suppose you could fashion a potato to be that round.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, if anyone can carve a potato into the roundest head ever, pop a couple of eyes on it.
Make it look as much like Karl as possible.
Exactly.
But yeah, any nicknames? Did you ever have a nickname, Rick?
No, mine was boring. I didn't have any. It was just around the name, like Gerv or something like that. No, I didn't have nicknames.
I always wanted a nickname. I just thought it was quite cool for some reason, particularly because gangsters always seem to have nicknames. You
Lefty.
know, Fingers,
Yeah.
Lefty, yeah. Scarface.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I thought, because no one was giving me a nickname at school, it was kind of annoying, or certainly not to my face,
Yeah.
that I decided to just come up with one.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was at lunch once, and I just said to my mate Phil,
How old were you?
12, 13.
Brilliant.
I just said to him, Phil, don't know if you know, mate, but people aren't calling me Steve anymore. Everyone's calling me Spud now. Now, I don't know why I thought Spud. It's weird. We should talk about Mr. Potato Head. I don't know why I thought Spud was a cool nickname. I think
It's a
'cause
grown-up name, though, isn't it?
and it's also because I think it sounded like it was probably either something that you'd find in one of those kids' books, like the Famous Five, or like the Bash Street Kids. There'd be Spud, and I always imagine with Spud, he's not the leader of the gang, but he's a reliable member.
I think
You know what I mean?
Spud is the biggest lorry driver in one particular sort of car park.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Spud.
Yeah.
And he gets out, all right, boys. And he's big and massive. And Spud can eat 2 breakfasts.
Exactly, yeah. But I just, in my mind, it was, that I would be one day part of a gang, and it's, I'm Pinky, this is Jojo, and the tall guy's Spud.
And it didn't catch
it
on,
never
did it?
really caught. And he just went, oh yeah, right. And no one started, and I was hoping he'd go, everyone's calling Steve Spud.
Yeah.
But of course-
Hey, Spud. The first time I said Spud, you go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be really proud, wouldn't you? No.
Did you have a nickname?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of people on the estate that I grew up on. Nicknames are big things on estates and that.
Yeah.
A lot of my dad's mates, right? What their nicknames did was tell you about them. Do you know how I said about the Elephant Man's a good name?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know what you're going to get. If someone said, Elephant Man's popping around in a bit, it wouldn't be a shock when he walked in.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked in that sort of thing. So there was John the Screw, right?
John the Screw?
Yeah.
Well, he had sex a lot or he worked in a prison?
No, he had a DIY shop. So you had him,
Right.
right? There was Fred the Veg,
Yeah.
which is
I assume it's because he was at the same IQ as you.
Or he was in a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
there was my uncle Tattoo Stan.
All right.
Yeah, he had like loads of tattoos that he'd just done himself.
Oh my
Right.
God.
The problem was, because he did his tattoos himself, the ones on his left arm were really good. Because he was right-handed. On his right arm, rubbish. Right? So there was him.
Great.
And there was Jimmy the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
Did he always wear a hat?
No, he didn't. That was the point there. That he never wore a hat.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
How can you pick up on someone never wearing a hat? How would you ever notice? I'll tell you what, I've noticed something about Jimmy. What?
Go on.
He doesn't wear a hat. why was he not called Jimmy the Parrot? Because he never carries a parrot.
No, but that's just the way. I mean, that's how they work in it. I mean,
Here comes Jimmy Three Legs. Why'd you call him that? He hasn't got 3 legs.
I didn't really have one apart from like I had a CB. You know, like when you'd go on a CB radio and have a chat to people.
Oh, this was a craze in the was it late 70s, early 80s?
Sort of early 80s.
And it was just short band radio, wasn't it? Everyone had these little handsets and they'd speak to each other in the sort of local area.
Yeah, it was mainly. I think it started off with like
Lorry
truckers
drivers,
and
isn't it? Yeah, truckers, yeah, because there was that thing from like about 1977, whatever it was, Convoy, yeah.
Yeah, so I had one of them, and the handle. I had two.
Handle
different
mean
names.
is your nickname, your
Yeah,
name?
there's loads of code stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I had there was Pilkey 01, because
Right.
like I say, there's a lot of Pilkingtons and that in Manchester. So if someone wants Pilkey 02, it's open. Do you know what I mean? They can have it. And then
Like it's people scrabbling. I want a Pilkey one.
and then because I did boxing and that,
Well, you did it once.
Yeah.
I'd Boxer Boy, because I thought that's quite a good image as well. That's kind of like people going, oh, don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he asks what your handle is, tell him. Do you know what I mean? It's Boxer Boy and that. So just had them two, and I used to just go on there and.
Pointless. What is the point of this?
Well, you just meet people, don't you?
And you
So-
don't meet people. You say, "What's your handle?" They go, "Box Boy." What's yours? Rubber duck. All right, cheers.
No,
It's
but
ridiculous.
then you'll say like, then you go, oh, what's your 20?
What's that mean?
That's where are you?
Well, why don't you say, "Where are you?"
Because just in case there's someone who's listening in who you know, you hear about this all the time, don't you? People listening, jotting stuff down.
Oh, right. So, just in case someone in the world doesn't know what handle means, they're out of the loop. They're out of the loop.
It's not a difficult code to crack, is it? If
Yeah.
you're trying to track someone.
It's hardly the head of the mafia talking to each other because the FBI are on the wire. It's ridiculous. Like I go, oh, he keeps saying that, what's your handle? And they come back with something else. I can't work out what's going on.
No, it's like anything, isn't it? That's what codes are all about, isn't it? You set them up and that.
Go on and tell me the code then.
Reveal at long last to the world what
Yeah.
these codes are.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's your 20? Where
Oh,
are you?
this is better than the Enigma.
Yeah.
Right, now here we go.
Right.
How many candles are you burning?
Does that mean how big's your car or something like that? Horsepower or something?
See? No, that's
Oh,
how old
what
are you?
time is it?
No, how old are you?
What, how old are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
How many candles are you burning, of course?
Yeah.
So what's the answer come back?
You go
I'm 15.
14.
Brilliant. That code, there's no one going to work that out. I wish you'd have kept a diary of this, because this has been fascinating.
Now and again, someone will come in and go side on, right?
What's that mean?
And that means like there's someone sat there listening into this chat and going, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
And they want to join in, so they sort of go side on, you go side on, bring it in, right? And they go, all right.
How many candles are you burning?
Yeah. What's your 20?
That's it goes round again.
Yeah.
See you later. What's your 20? How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
And, I mean, it seems to me that what you should have done is made a note the first time, so that when you then speak to them again, you don't need to ask them those questions. Can I just confirm that you're burning 15? We do, of course, Rick, every week get thousands of emails. Emily from New York has asked Karl this. Karl, if you were on a sinking ship, or you were in a burning building, and you were with myself and Ricky, but you could only save one of us. I don't know why that's the case, but you can only save one of us.
Yeah.
Who would you save? Would it be Ricky or would it be me?
I think it's a 2-man dinghy.
Right, okay.
Possibly. And we're trapped, and he knows that if he stays there to get both our legs out from under this thing...
The girder.
Yeah, he dies. So he's got room, he's got time to save one. It's obviously me.
It's hard to say, isn't it, at this point?
What, because Steve's in the room, you mean?
Well, no, just because we don't know what the situation is.
Okay, well, let's say we're on a sinking ship, all right? So you're going to have to rescue one of us, drag us into the dinghy.
It's going under. You know, in 30 seconds, okay, this ship's going to go under and drag you down and you're going to die, right? And our legs are trapped and you've got enough time to untangle one set of legs. Whose legs do you untangle?
Now, just because my legs are long does not necessarily mean it's more complicated.
No, it's exactly the same amount of time. Just have to make a choice. A terrible choice that Steve would not, hate you for.
Well, no, listen.
But if he won't be around for long, he's going to drown in 30 seconds. Forget him.
So, bear in mind this, Karl. You are going to be stuck in a dinghy with Ricky Gervais, and who knows how long that's going to take. Think of all the head squeezing that's going to be going on, the comments, the wind. And do you honestly think that he's going to, if there's any provisions, that he's going to split them evenly with you? I mean, he's going to have drunk all the water, and there's only going to be about half an hour in. The food's going to be gone. Look at his gut. Look how much, of the food he's going to have to eat, the baked beans that you've got on board. Whereas me, you know how generous I am. I'm always sort of helping you out.
Oh, there we go, Karl. I think he's put the nail in his own coffin there. You know how generous I am, Karl. Let's talk about that, Karl. Come on, think about that one.
Yeah, I mean, have you forgot about that, Steve?
What?
The time when we went for a coffee and we had to have a bit of a heated debate about the 50p change.
Yeah, you owed me 50p, and you decided you didn't want to give it to me because it was only 50p. And my point was, it's not a question of 50p, it's the fact that it's not your decision to decide not to give it to me. If I want to be generous, that's my decision. But you can't go, oh, it's only 50p, Steve.
It's my decision.
But you just given him a free keg of beer.
Yeah.
No, but that did not come to you, and you didn't pay for the free keg of beer. It was a promotional thing that was sent to you.
It's the same thing as the way I gave Suzanne my leaving present from my last job.
A lot of people may not be aware of this if they haven't heard us talking about it before. Yes, but you had a gift from your work as you were leaving after however many years of service, which you then gave straight to your girlfriend without telling her that it had been received from people at work.
Doesn't matter. She wanted a camera. It's the same thing as you. You wanted that lager that I got for free. It hasn't cost you anything. It doesn't matter where I got it from.
So you now decide, because you've given me a free lager, that you can now say, oh, actually, I'm not, in the future, I'll just take your money, Steve, on a whim.
Well, listen, stop arguing like this. You're rocking the dinghy. Karl, have some of my cheese.
Imagine if he would ever say that. Can you imagine him ever offering you any of his cheese?
Are you going to save, Karl, mate?
I don't want to say.
Well, think about it, and
I might do a sort of a for and against or something, and then so the conclusion is...
Okay, all right. A few people have sent this in, including Paul, the party animal Parker. For some reason, we've just assumed he's in school. I don't think there's any actual proof of that. But
I reckon he left in June, and he's doing sort of bits and pieces, but he's still not a party animal.
Do you think he can hold down a job? Is he just partying so hard that...
He can hold down a job. He often arrives late.
Sure.
And the boss, who's in an overall, go, Parker, you're late again. He goes, yeah, talk to the hand. Yeah.
I think that he's the sort of guy that he'll just happily say, listen, I survive on 4 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to work, I've not slept at all.
But I think he comes in with his headphones blaring, right, on a skateboard, and the bloke goes up to him, the old bloke, right, the old fuddy-duddy bloke, goes, you stupid idiot, you can't... He goes, chill out, man, and in 2 minutes, he's got him dancing.
Oh, I know what he's like. Yeah, he is just like, you just can't resist it, because he's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul and a few other people have sent in this piece of information they've discovered from one of the more respected news networks. The headline is this: female kidney turns lumberjack onto housework.
Right.
Now, a Croatian lumberjack apparently has claimed that he started enjoying housework and knitting after he was given a female kidney. He claims he's going to sue his local health authority because he says he's become a laughingstock. He used to enjoy heavy drinking sessions and things. The kidney transplant saved his life, but they never warned me about the side effects. I've developed a strange passion for female jobs, like ironing, sewing, washing dishes, sorting clothes in wardrobes, and even knitting.
Well, if he likes it, what's the problem? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Hold on, though. What makes me laugh is he's become a laughingstock. So what do you do when you become a laughingstock? Tell the newspapers.
Well, yeah.
Tell the newspapers about it, because then that'd keep it completely under wraps. Then.
But it's the sort of medical nonsense that Karl would normally come out with.
Absolutely. That you know, you take on the personality of the person who gave you their blood.
Exactly. It's like those old horror stories, you know, you get given a murderer's hand.
Yeah.
You go around killing.
But there can be certain medical things that would change the way you think and would change you as a person. Say, like how they can do face transplants now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't quite understand how this face transplants work, because do you get a choice of who you have? If you have something done to your face and you go, you know, it's burnt or whatever, or something happens to you and you need a face transplant.
Well, if you totally changed your appearance, then you would eventually change because of how people reacted to you.
Yeah, but
if you gave yourself the head of an elephant, soon you wouldn't be yourself.
But
Because
I wouldn't have that. That's what I'm saying. If they had a catalogue and they said, here's some faces you can have, pick which one you want.
Yeah.
Would you be looked upon badly if you go, do you know what? I don't really like the look of any of them. Can I just wait for a better face? Or at this moment in time, have you just got to take what's on offer?
Karl, there's no one looking through catalogues at faces they might be able to have.
No, they do now because of the face transplant thing.
But who are these people putting their face up for? They wait till someone...
Yeah, I know, but at some point... Well, I tell you what, I would not have a face transplant if I haven't seen the face before I'm going to have it.
You had to...
I want to see what I'm having. Because I could end up with anything. You mentioned elephant's head. What, do you know what I mean? Whose head are they going to use? Is it the latest thing that's died? Oh, well, this got run over before. Yeah, I'll stick this on your head.
Where has this come from? Where
From
are
his
these
mind.
Where are these faces queuing up to be popped on a skull? Where do you think they have got time to put all these...
Maybe this is why it won't catch on. I don't know.
This is extraordinary. You've created in your own head the existence of this pamphlet, and now you're defending it, even though we don't know it even exists.
And you're this skull on a hospital bed going, I'm not having that. I don't like the look of him. He looks a bit shifty. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, no.
Can I ask this now? Let's say we passed away sadly in something terribly tragic. The nation's mourned. You know, it's terrible. It's like one of the great national disasters. But you, at the same time, you survived the accident, okay, but your face is hideously disfigured. You can take either Ricky's face or mine to have.
I'm surprised you're asking this, though, Steve. I mean, it's just, it doesn't seem like any of them is like a great option.
Oh, thanks.
And this is what I'm saying about the catalogue. If those two were on offer, I might go, do you know what? Pop in again tomorrow. Bring in another booklet.
This is from Anne-Marie. She says that she loves the podcast. She listens with her 7-month-old baby. That cannot be a good idea. And she says this to you, Karl. If you had children, what is the most important lesson you'd want to teach them?
I mean, in a way, if you sort of look after a kid too much, it doesn't learn that much. But if you let it learn by its mistakes, it'll probably grow up all right.
But there are some mistakes you can't afford it to make to learn from.
Yeah, driving a car the wrong way down a motorway.
Testing if the fire really is hot.
No, but say like the time...
Does broken glass really taste horrible? These are lessons you don't want it to learn from mistakes.
Yeah, you can tell them that.
Yeah,
but what I mean is there's certain things that... I just think there was a kid who grew up in our avenue, right, on the estate, who, when it was born, right, we kind of thought it's got no chance, this kid, because its man was a bit of a rumman. You know,
a rumman? Where's that?
No, just like, you know, she like going out and having a fag and like having a drink, and she's never at home. It's the one who had the horse in the house.
Sure.
Right, which I don't want to go over.
Sure. It's old news.
It's out there, isn't it, if you want to find out about the horse in the house. But she had a kid, and everyone was pretty surprised when they saw it, because it was a good-looking kid. Yeah. She was surprised, because, like, you know, the man wasn't that good-looking, the dad was a bit rough. But it came out, and she was showing it around the avenue, going, look at this I've had. And she was chuffed with it, because it's probably like one of the newest things she's ever had, because everything else was always sort of second hand and what have you. But suddenly she's got this brand new little baby, right? Anyway, as it grew up, right, those looks went.
Right.
And I'm not talking getting old, I'm talking by the age of about 3. It looked rough already, right? And all that just happened because that's the life it was in, right?
Yeah.
So like it had like a patchy head, Its hair.
It what? It had a patchy head.
A patchy head. It's just sort of.
It wasn't a North American Indian. What do you mean? A patchy head?
Just his hair was patchy. He used to chase sort of cars and stuff.
It's cars. Sorry. What do you mean?
That's what he did for his.
Sorry, did she let it get raised by wolves?
No. but all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, what is it that makes a person? Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know what state he's in now, but maybe he learned all his mistakes by the age of 4. I'm guessing he's not chasing cars now, but at least he's done it.
I'm guessing he is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At least he can go, yeah, I've been there, done that, and you don't go back to it, and you can get away with doing dafter things when you're a kid, can't you? I nearly killed a man once, right?
Okay, right.
That time when I was in Wales, and I was having a walk with my dad on the cliffs and that, I just picked up a big rock, right? Chucked it off the edge, and as I chucked it off the edge, I noticed a fellow was walking down below.
Jeez.
And I missed his head by, like, inches. Now, I've never chucked a rock off a bridge or, like, off a cliff or anything.
And it only took one man to almost lose his life for you to learn that lesson.
Yeah, but that's how you learn your lessons, isn't it?
See, a lot of people would have said that maybe your dad should have said, "Wait, Karl, what are you doing?"
No, but he didn't know I was doing it. I didn't say I'm going to chuck this off there. I just picked it up and chucked it. And, like, as I let go of it, I noticed a fellow was down there. You live and you learn. That's a little mantra.
Right? All right.
You live
Okay.
and you learn. So the woman who's had the kid, sort of look after it, feed it, make sure it's got shoes and that, but let it roam about.
That's great.
There's the advice for you, Anne-Marie.
I love that.
Good luck. Just let your 7-month-old baby roam about. Karl, a lot of people are absolutely fascinated to find out how you met Suzanne, your girlfriend of how long?
Ages.
Yeah. And they can't comprehend how, well, I suppose that there's any woman out there.
Well, there's someone for everyone, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's always my thing. And it's reassuring, I think. You know, we chatted about the face transplants and that. You know, there's a face for everyone.
It's philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really unbelievable.
No, there is someone for everyone, no matter what condition you're in or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I read on the email, someone emailed in an old Chinese proverb. It's something about everything, no matter what it is, has got one talent. And that's the same way in a relationship, innit? That everyone, you know, there's always someone out there. And that I like the Chinese. There's another Chinese proverb that I learned on an email.
Go on.
He who cuts the wood up warms himself twice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then someone sent in that one about too many Chinese cooks spoil the broth.
What? Well, why is? Well, that's. I don't know. I don't know who slipped the word Chinese in there, but I heard it was too many cooks.
Well, it was just all sort of Chinese proverbs and that.
One of my favourite on the same subject is a camel is a horse designed by committee.
What do you mean?
Well, it's having a go at the camel, and it shouldn't. But it's just, it's just a metaphor. And if you wanted to design a horse and you had that vision, but you let 12 people in the room have their say, it wouldn't come out as you wanted it to do, and it wouldn't be as good. A vision is more perfect than committee, because everyone having their say, it becomes anodyne, it becomes compromised. Whereas the best things you can do is have an idea and have a vision and auteur that.
Rick, can I just say now, I can tell from his look that he's thinking, which committee designed the camel?
Well, I'd say, why would you request the ump bit? Because that's just going to get in the way, isn't it? I've always said that about a lot of animals. It's like we've doubled up on a lot of them. We've chatted about elephants and mammoths, one or the other. And that's the same with a camel. I'd have that up there as what they're doing. They were good years ago, in the Jesus times and that. Don't need them now. You know what I mean? We've moved on.
Well, not people who use camels to cross deserts.
What other? I'm
communities.
going to throw some animals at you, and you tell how you'd have improved them if you'd have been designing them. Okay? Mm-hmm. The octopus.
So I can now go back. I can look at them and go, "What are they doing?"
And where have they gone wrong? What's up with you? How could you improve it? Like the camel, you go lose the amp.
I'd probably give it a bit more of a body. Cut down on the arms. And give it some bones, because I don't understand all this. Getting in a jar is good. When does he want to get in a jar? It says...
Well, it only wants to get in a jar according to your stories.
No, but there's something that says it can get in a jar because it hasn't got any bones, but I don't know why I'd want to do that in the first place.
Easy.
I can't even begin to answer that. Once again, you've claimed that you've read that they like to get in jars. I mean, how do they know that octopus like to get in jars?
Oh, God, I love that you can improve on an octopus. Millions and millions of years of evolution, making it perfect for its surroundings. Okay, another animal for you then, Karl.
Giraffe?
What are they adding to the world? What are they doing?
Well, it's not about what they add to the world,
No, but
is
I thought that's what everything's about. It's about things are here for a reason.
The reason they're here is because they didn't die. That's it.
No, but there seem to be a lot of animals that are like...
Do you think there's a lot of cheating? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying, there just seems to be a lot of doubling up.
Yeah, so you get it down to like 8 animals that represented all of it. So okay, who would get in your team? You can choose 8 animals.
This is what I'm saying. If I was Noah, I would have gone like, hang on a minute. I've just seen something that looks a bit like this. Let it drown and have a clear out. But he didn't. He was messing about saving everything.
He was instructed by God to save everything, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but if he's been given that job, for me, he's sort of manager of that job.
So you believe
with
Noah as well? You
well,
believe Noah happened as well, and he built a boat big enough to catch 2 of every species. You actually believe that as fact, do you?
Well, it's out there in book form.
Brilliant.
All right.
We haven't answered the question that we started with. How did you meet Suzanne?
Just at work.
Thanks.
Download and listen to this on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast provider. Just check the description below.
The number of times I find a theory that he said in gobbledygook, but it's true.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Karl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing.
Is that all right? Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Now, everyone knows over the past sort of like few years, my big pet project, it hasn't been my own career, it's been get Karl famous.
Yeah.
I want people to recognise him in the street, come up to him and say, you bald-headed mank twat.
Well, let me tell you now, Rick, I've been out and about, and a lot of people have come up to me and said, it has Karl Pilkington got a head like a fucking orange?
Well,
and I've had to instantly confirm the answer to be yes.
But he's had a call. He had a call recently from a film company asking him if he's got any ideas for movies. Now, how desperate, in what dire straits must the British film industry be that they're going, we need Karl Pilkington. We have hit rock bottom. And he went along for an interview.
So what, and you went in and you...
I went along and had a meeting. And they just said, right, got any ideas? And sort of said, what are you thinking? What sort of thing are you after? Are you after action, thriller, whatever?
Because you can provide any of that.
I love that he's playing it cool, like you've come to the right person.
Yeah.
My time's precious, what do you need?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Karl Pilkington, the movie doctor, what do you need, Papa?
So, thought of this idea sort of on the spot.
Good.
I whiz by them. No, but sometimes that's how good ideas come up, don't they? Just
so a lot of yours have come up, yeah.
No, but if you just talk, I find that your mouth comes out with stuff.
Right, there's another quote. Right. There is another quote.
If you talk, your mouth comes out with stuff.
That to me stands along with what were those things in Gremlins called?
No, but what I mean, if you sit there and try and use your brain to do it,
right,
it doesn't work the same. Just keep talking. Just keep your mouth talking, and eventually it will come out with something pretty good.
That is exactly what Plato said.
So anyway,
Aristotle, he said, sit down, I've got an idea for you. Aristotle said, Plato, how do I go? Right, just keep talking and eventually your brain will come out with stuff.
So what I thought, I just started off by saying like actors' names and that who I thought should be in it, because then that's giving more, it's building.
Right,
okay,
so
who did you say?
So I said, right, I'm seeing Clive Warren.
Who the fuck's Clive Warren?
Who's Clive Warren?
The one who was in Closer.
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen.
Right, alright.
Did they look at you like you're a fucking idiot?
So they all started trying to figure out, who's this Clive Warren we've not heard about? He must be amazing. He's
Clive Warren, get me Clive Warren on the phone. Get me Clive Warren.
And I said, Rebecca De Mornay, right?
She hasn't been in a film for 15 years, has she?
Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay. They thought he was a genius. They've never thought of putting Clive Warren with Rebecca De Mornay.
But hang on a minute, you could have any film star. This is your fantasy casting, and you choose a bloke that doesn't exist and a woman who hasn't been on TV or in a film for 10 years.
Oh God!
Why didn't you choose,
someone who existed,
J-Lo or someone who's a big star?
Oh God! Clive Warren! Oh God! Oh,
so anyway, starts off, and the people, you're seeing into their lives from like the morning.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
Radio's on. They're going about the day. They're having the breakfast. They're saying, "Oh, what we're doing tonight?" And you're thinking, "Oh, they've got a nice life."
Mm.
She's like, "Love you" and all that. Yeah. He walks out the house, gets hit by a bus.
Oh.
So Clive Warren's dead.
I don't know if Clive Warren would take that part
Because he ain't got much to do, has he?
No, I don't. If I know Clive Warren,
And I think you do.
I think I do. Carry on. So he's hit by a bus. So he's dead.
He's hit by a bus and that. The titles come up.
Oh,
It's got you, right? She's
Starring
devastated. She's
Clive Warren.
fed up. She's devastated and that. Doctor says Clive's dead.
Who's playing the Doctor? Jack Nicholson House.
What's that fella who was in Independence Day?
Will Smythe.
No, the old black fella.
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Get him in. He's
Morgan
the
Freeman,
doctor.
yeah.
He says, "Your husband's dead." She's like, "Oh God." What happens then is he says, "But listen, what we can do now, we can take the brain out."
Right.
And a fact that I'd read that day before the meeting. This isn't in the film now. This is me.
Right, but luckily,
I read a thing about how the brain can run on half of it. You've actually got a full brain, run it on half. So this was in my mind still.
Well, half your mind, yeah.
So I said, what happens is Morgan Freeman says, "Been working on this. You can run your life on half a brain."
Right.
She's sort of a bit like, "What are you telling me this for now? My husband's just died like 20 minutes ago."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, but if we're going to do this, we've got to act quick." She's like, "Do what?" He says, whilst his brain's not fully dead, because it stays awake for a bit when you've been killed.
He's not dead then, fine.
No, but
Wait.
he is, but they found out that it stays awake a little bit.
No,
No, he's gone.
No,
You're hit by a bus.
Yeah, no, he's dead. If the brain's dead, you are dead.
Clive Warren's dead.
And if the brain's not dead, you're not dead.
No, but it's like people in a coma. They're dead, aren't they? But the brain isn't dead.
No, they're in a coma.
No, they're not dead.
Coma.
No, they come out of comas, don't
Alright, then he's in a coma. He's been hit by the bus, but the chances are he's not going to come out of that coma, but his brain is still awake. So, change that. That's easily done.
Hold on though. I like this fact that he's in a coma, so they're going, look, he's definitely going to die in this coma. Take the brain out now. Pop the brain out.
But why is that such a weird thing when that's what they do now? That's what they do now.
What is?
That's what they do.
What?
They do that.
What? A brain transplant?
No, but when, like, how I've signed that donor card,
Yeah.
like, if anything happens to me...
No.
they've
There's
got the
no
lot.
such thing as a brain donor. Oh, we've explained to you before.
Yeah, but they're working on it. They've said something about Einstein. They messed about with his brain for ages, trying to work out if it was full of stuff. That's what they're doing. They're working on that. There's loads of things that doctors are doing that we don't know about. I've seen some weird stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
I saw a programme on Channel 5 where a monkey brain was still alive and it was stuck on a stick. And they
You were
poked
watching
it.
the Magic Roundabout.
They poked it and it reacted.
Right.
So it's still alive. It's being kept alive, and it's only a matter of time. What's the brain linked up to? As long as you can link it up to the eyes, and somehow so it can tell the arms and legs what to do, you're laughing.
I love that. Imagine a team full of doctors going, well, we're going to try and do a brain transplant. Karl, as long as you can link this up to the eyes and tell the arms and legs what to do, we're laughing. Cheers, Karl. See you later.
Then what happens is they say, do you want half of his brain in your head?
Half of his brain in her head.
She says, definitely not. I'm having you struck off. She starts screaming. She calls the police. He gets
Yeah,
arrested.
but you'd have said that years ago when people can have, like, someone else's arm put on their body and stuff.
Yeah, but he's only in a coma.
Yeah.
No, but he's not going to come out of that coma.
Right.
So it's like this or nothing. It's
Right.
like, look, you know, what we're going to do here? We can either turn the switch off,
Yeah.
or we can put his head in your head.
But why would
But
you...
so
why,
what he does? So what they do then? They're going to take half his brain.
Half of his brain, take
Put
out half of hers, pop it in place.
Why would she do that?
Because she loves him.
But hold on, well, no, wait. What would she then be?
Because this is what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, sorry.
What happens is, he explains all this, so I mean, this would probably cover about 20 minutes in the film, but I'm just rushing it.
I just
rushing
switched
it
off,
now.
but yeah.
No, you wouldn't. This bit would have you. So what...
Well, I'd have actually left when I wouldn't have even gone in to see a film starring Clive Warren and Rebecca De Mornay, unless it was 1985.
so the thing is, she's the same as you. She says the same thing. She goes, "Why would I do that, Doctor?" And he goes, "Well, what will happen is, he's gone, but you'll have his thoughts. So in the morning when you say, 'Oh, I don't know what to have,' well, I have cornflakes. His bit of the brain will sort of say,
Have a Weetabix.
Have shredded wheat, or whatever." And she's like, "Oh yeah, good idea."
Sorry. So the point of this film is that the dead man can remind her what breakfast cereal she likes.
Yeah. So the thought...
What do you mean, yes? So that's it, is it?
No, that's not the only
Wait,
thing.
wait a minute. This is only Act 1.
That's just the first bit. Everything's going well. She has it done.
So who is she? Is she herself?
She's Rebecca De Mornay.
Yeah.
But now
With
and again, with him chipping in with a bit of voiceover. So the idea is it's all going well at the beginning, and she's...
So she can't decide what dress to wear.
She's had half of her brain taken out and put in a bin, okay? And Clive Warren's half has been put in there. So now she's walking round, okay?
So she's like a schizophrenic.
No, like I say, the brain is alive, so it's all going well when she leaves hospital,
Yeah.
and she gets the first taste of it, and it's a bit weird to get hold of, because she's sort of... I think when she signs herself out, he's sort of fighting, writing his name and stuff, so there's a few sort of technical things that she has to get used to.
And does Clive's brain know that he's now inside her brain?
Does that matter?
Well, I would say it matters, because otherwise...
Yes, it does matter, Karl. What's he thinking?
What's
the point of this? Why has she gone along with this?
Because she really loves him.
But what's in it for him? What does she think?
Well, say if I died, and Suzanne said, "Go on, I'll have half of Karl's," right? She would wake up in the morning to a thought of me sort of going, "Oh, you never guess what I've just thought about," or whatever. I'd still be there. The rest of your body is sort of waste, isn't it?
But Karl, the rest of your body's sort of waste.
No, it is kind of. If when someone dies, it's not that person anymore, is it? You can't have a chat with them. So if you could have someone's brain in your head when they're dead, you'd have it, wouldn't you?
What are you talking about? Why would I have someone's brain in my head when they're dead?
Well,
I've got a perfectly good brain.
So you're telling me you wouldn't have it done then?
Of course I fucking wouldn't.
I can also categorically state I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but you're saying that now, but once you're in that position that someone who, you know, you love and that dies, if the doctor said, "Do you want it?"
No! I'd go, no! It's madness!
I don't think
it's madness!
Alright.
So, tell me a typical bit of dialogue.
Well, we've done the breakfast scene.
Yeah, that was dynamite.
Yeah.
That's fucking Oscar winning.
Yeah, can we do lunch?
There may be, like, at the funeral, because even though the brain's still alive, they still have the funeral, and you can have, like, a funny bit where they stood around the grave, and, like, there's some relation there who he doesn't like, and she can start laughing, and the family are looking at her going, "Why is she laughing?"
Yeah.
And she's sort of laughing, and he's saying something a bit rude, going, "Look at her head." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Looks like
Stuff on the family.
Yeah.
Little cameo for you.
Yeah.
And so you have all that, and people are sort of liking the film, thinking, "Oh, it's quite funny, this."
Yeah.
And then you hit them hard.
It's the most ludicrous idea for a film I've ever heard. It's the maddest. Honestly, it really is the ramblings of a mental case.
I have to say though, I am hooked now. I want to know what's going to happen next in the story.
Then what happens is, she hears the voice go, "Leslie, where are you?" Something.
Right.
Her name's not Leslie.
No.
She's thinking, "Who's Leslie?"
Yeah.
So in her mind, she's going, "Who's Leslie?" He's going, "Oh."
So he's thought, hang on, I've let something slip.
I've let something slip. So she's going, "Answer me."
Oh.
He goes quiet on her.
Oh.
So
he was having an affair.
this is the thing. So she's trying to hunt down
Leslie.
and
he's got to stop her thinking it.
then what happens is, I mean, you know.
Where your backs?
So he's got to hunt down Leslie.
So she's got to hunt down Leslie.
It's a woman, is it? Another Leslie, or
It's
is it
another
a bloke?
woman.
Right.
But what happens is, I mean, without ruining the end for everyone, what would sort of happen is...
Oh yeah, because we don't want to ruin it for them, because this will be filling the multiplexes in no time.
No, it's the greatest love story ever told, set in a head.
But listen, let's just get to
hang
the
on a
end.
sec though, Karl. You've got to tell us the end. I don't think you can let people listening
come on, what's
hanging
the
on
end?
waiting for the film.
Just let your mouth talk.
Right, so what I said was, maybe what happens is, his brain is more powerful than hers,
Right. How is there power? Why is there no power involved?
What I mean is, her brain was running the rest of her body.
Now he's
His
taken
brain,
over.
that gets more powerful and overrules her body.
Okay.
Yeah.
She then fancies Leslie.
So it's a lesbian
hold on,
film.
this is building up to a lesbian love. So what the?
Well, it's
what?
trendy, isn't it, that? So just have a bit of that at the end, and
So hold on. So he overpowers her, so she is now a lesbian. What's Leslie getting out of this? Why does Leslie think, hold on, why is my
Because-
dead lover's wife coming on to me?
because this is what I'm saying to you, it's relationships, it's the love of two brains.
Right, okay. Again, can anyone
a
out there, can we
strapline.
make that into it? That's a quote. The relationships is a love of two brains.
it's-
Now, he's got something there. He's got something there. But my point is this. Why is Leslie suddenly turned lesbian?
Because she loves the brain.
But does she know this is Clive Warren?
Rebecca will say something now and again, like, oh, I like me
Minge.
I like my food done like this or whatever, and it's all about Dave
I like
likes
my
it.
food cooked. Wait a minute, Clive Warren on this food cooked.
Yeah, I'm in two minds about this bacon.
Yeah,
What
I'm
I
going to
mean
turn
is,
into a lesbian.
People
Shredded wheat.
like what they like, and it's the same way, like I've said to you before, with someone who's been going out with a woman, and then is found out that she's got a twin sister, and they divorce that first twin and go out with the other twin. It's all the same. You're after the same thing, aren't you?
Yes, but that...
When a cat dies, you buy another one. It's the same thing. You want that same.
Yeah, but you
love
don't
for
necessarily
something.
switch your sexual orientation. In the case of your twin scenario, they both look the same.
Yeah. Has there ever been one where it's a twin boy and girl? Go, well, I was going out with her, but I mean, he looks a bit like her.
Yeah, I loved boobs, now I like cock.
This is your problem. You don't know anything. And this theory about if your mouth talks enough, the brain will kick in soon. It hasn't.
Now, Karl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you. Jake has emailed in. He says, Karl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Karl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered. And that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly
dress
the same.
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no, no.
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But think about it, this other person's going, alright, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or, so how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're
Yeah,
experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird.
But
isn't it,
you
how
know
we
the
meet,
truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway,
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could
I-
pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks? Would you,
you could be in two places at once.
would you do stings? Would you do scams?
no, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was my doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, will you pack it in? And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Karls.
Yeah,
He's having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean though that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on?
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little, again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? Like normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, Karl. This is a logical conundrum. To a certain extent, there's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is when I've told you the answer to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so there's 2 doors, Karl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, they're identical. You can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously, you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's 2 guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what, one to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not the rules.
are you can only ask one. There aren't actually 2 doors labelled heaven and hell, Karl. This is a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
I can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no
Get anywhere
keyhole.
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
So they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling,
Yeah.
but one of them's not really smiling. Really, he's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question. If you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these 2 guys get on.
Okay, it's a logical. Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
So-
No, hang on. Right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go. You
Right,
go,
hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those 2 guys. Okay, right?
But we have to. Well, me and Steve would decide which doors we're guarding. Okay.
Right.
I'm.
Look away, Karl.
Okay.
Right,
then.
so we've decided. Okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right. I'll just say to you, Steve. I'll go. Got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some post for God here.
Well, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the question's coming. You got some post for God here, yeah.
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let
So
him finish. Maybe
is God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes,
Do you,
he's
want,
in.
do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
look, lads. I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven, because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same, and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think, because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer, and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So...
They're identical.
Yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Well, Rick, you're not the only one who's been away. I know you've been off working, but I, at long last, have taken a bit of leisure time.
Go on.
And you've probably heard of the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. Only one of the hottest, events in the world calendar.
Yeah.
Imagine me down there.
Oh,
Rio,
God.
you can imagine, did not know what hit it.
Oh, God almighty. Imagine, were you like Paul the Party Animal Parker?
He would not have been able to keep up if he was with me.
God, what did you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, let me tell you right now. Day 1, I almost drowned. Day 2, I got a foot infection and spent the day in the hospital. And the rest of the time, I had diarrhea. So that was a hell of a time.
Carnival.
Yeah. I did. I was able to watch some of the carnival on TV, and it looked brilliant. It looked amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult to make out because the TV wasn't actually in my room. Because in an effort to save money, I wasn't staying in a hotel. I was staying with a bunch of other people in some kind of, like, someone's flat that they'd let out. And so I had to watch the TV, like, from my window, watching a neighbour's TV. And of course, when they changed the channel, often during the juicy bits, I couldn't see anything. And, but they looked really good. I'm bunged up at the moment just so I can get through the show. But I've just been on a 12-hour flight, and it is terrifying being on a flight when you know that any moment you could go. Because, the problem is sometimes the toilet's free, and sometimes you've got to queue up. And the worst bit is that sort of half an hour just before you land, when they say the toilets are out of bounds now. I tell you, I went twice before that in quick succession. The woman sat next to the toilet. She didn't know what was going on, the noises and stuff in there. And I was really panicky. Oh Christ! And so of course then on the whole flight, as we're landing, I'm really petrified because I'm thinking I packed a pair of underpants and jeans in the bag in the holdall. Just in case it all went. And I was really, because I hate flying anyway, and I hate landing because it's the most terrifying moment of the journey. Then it really was rumbling, and I was thinking, I've got to get out of here. Of course, you know when you're in a hurry, everything makes you angry. The little old lady in front of me who's just hobbling along off the gangplank. Just really annoyed.
With your bad hips and your bad
and
legs.
your Zimmer frame.
I know you've been through a war, but get out of my way.
And just anyone who kind of even passes you, and so I managed to get there just in time. Got into and it all went off. Man alive, it was grim. But that was not anything compared with the first couple of days. Because the first day I went for a walk. Ipswich Beach is famous for just the beautiful, beautiful people that gather there. There's so many beautiful women in Rio. It made me angry. I was angry that these women were so attractive and that none of them were even looking at me. So, but anyway, I'm on the beach because I was shopping and I needed a wee. Right, and we went for a quick impromptu swim, and I thought, we in the sea.
Just think of him on this beach, right, with diarrhea.
Well, I'm wearing great big long shorts because I'm not going to try and compete with these boys because they
you are, could I say this, the whitest man I've ever met in my life. Yeah. I mean, with his shirt off, you can see his heart like a newborn fish.
Well, this was the thing. As I went into the sea to have a wee, there was a discussion about this.
As I went into the sea to have a wee in a little tray.
See, there was a discussion about this because I'm very much of the opinion that you should take your trunks down, and some people, some of my friends are saying, just do it in your trunks and let the sea just wash it away.
What a hell of a carnival!
And I think I'm against that. I've always been against that in swimming pools, everything,
I'm against pissing in swimming pools. Full stop. It doesn't matter whether you do take your trunks down or don't piss in the swimming pool.
Sea?
Yeah, well, fine. Yeah,
fine, okay. Right,
fish do it.
So anyway, I'm in the sea trying to urinate, and I kneeled because I'm obviously very tall, so it's tricky to get deep enough for the water to mask what you're up to. So I tried to kneel down in the water, right, and I got John Thomas out, but then the water swept out again and just left me on the beach. But luckily my back was to everyone, so no one saw. So I
can't think of a funnier sight than Steve Merchant on his knees with his little John Thomas out. I don't know how big it is. I've never seen it. But for me, I imagine it's in proportion to the rest of it. Is it?
I
No?
wish. That's all I'll say is I've been a little shortchanged. But so then I got up and I waded a bit deeper in, right? And now I was trying. I got it out. But what I didn't realise is that the waves just off the beach are really just uncontrollable. You never know what's going to happen. So suddenly, I see this giant wave coming towards me, crashing towards me, and I got the cock out and everything, and it grabs this wave, comes over me, and lifts me up, flips me up in the water, right? And I'm floundering around. I can't see anything because, of course, I had to take my glasses off to go in the sea because I didn't want to lose them.
Oh God!
So I floundering around, and I'm genuinely getting scared because as I try to get into shore, the wave just pulls me back again. So I'm waving to my friends on the beach. But
With everything.
Well, what I don't realise is that because I'm not wearing my glasses, I don't realise that I've been dragged along the beach some way, and I'm not actually waving to my friends. So there's like a bunch of these beautiful women on Ipanema Beach watching a pasty white man waving with his cock out. And what annoyed me was my friends were laughing, and that
Steve,
really angers
if
me.
I'd have been there, I would have burst.
But why wouldn't you have come running? Would you have come running in to help me?
Oh, I couldn't have saved you with your glasses off and your knob out. If I ever save you, I want you to be fully dressed with your glasses on.
So you'd have just let me go. That would have been what you'd said to my parents. He had his knob out and his glasses off. There was no way I was going to...
I can't think of a funnier sight. Oh. Karl, I've got a couple of little facts for you, just to try and inflame your imagination.
Go on.
Sharks are immune to cancer.
Are they?
Yeah.
So how have they found that out?
Well, I don't know, but
I've never heard of any fish having cancer though. I haven't heard of a cod being ill. So why are we focusing on that one?
good point. Okay. Stroking a spider can cause its hair to fall out.
What? Because it doesn't like it and it gets stressed out, or is it just that some people are rubbing too hard?
No, I don't think it's they're rubbing too hard. I think it's something to do with it. I mean, what sort of maniac is stroking a spider anyway?
My mum did it once.
Really?
Yeah, not to a spider.
Right.
It was just a little bee. She'd been out, sunny day and that. Got the washing off the washing line. She was bringing it in. Little bee sat on the top of like the bed sheet or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And she's in the kitchen with it, and she goes, "Look at that little bee there." She started sort of stroking its head. It loved it.
How did it make it clear that it loved it?
Well, it wasn't struggling. It was just sat there like, because it must have been like a bit dozy. They get a bit dozy, don't they, in the heat and that. And it just stayed there on the sheet, and she sort of stroked its head for a bit, and she had to put it out. It didn't go out. It didn't try and escape. It was like, "You've had enough now." And that was that. She sent it out. She loved all that. She loved little flies and stuff. And we had Harry the housefly.
What?
Harry the housefly.
What do you mean?
It's just a fly that always seems to knock about in one corner of the room.
Right, it's the same fly, was it?
Yeah, it was the same fly. Yeah.
How do you know it was the same fly? So whenever she saw a fly, she went, "Oh, look, it's back."
Well, we weren't letting him in. It's just that it stayed in.
Karl, what makes you think it was a pet housefly as opposed to a different fly every day?
Because it was always in the same place in the corner.
But it could have been that something about that particular place that attracted flies rather than it was the same fly.
Well, I'm never worried about it. It wasn't harming us. It just always hung about.
But how do you know it was the same fly? How do you recognise it?
We weren't worried about it. It doesn't matter, does it? If like we're thinking another fly's getting a bit of free rent or something, just let it stay. I don't understand what.
But why? No. Right. Okay. You're in a house, right? There's flies. Okay.
Not flies. Fly.
What? Why do you think it was the same fly for all those years?
Just because we haven't got loads of other flies. At no point was there a crossover period where there's two, and it's like, hang on a minute, he's trying it on here. That's what I mean. It was always just one on its own. And we just thought, leave it, it's all right. I don't know why are you suspicious? Why do you always think someone's out to do you?
No, I don't know why you assumed when you see a fly every now and again that it's exactly the same fly.
It just
fact,
was.
it's Harry.
The one in our house was the same one.
How do you know?
Well, all right, I don't, but at no point did I feel suspicious. Speaking of flies, though, and that, they've got one, right? I was out with Ricky, right, and he was reading the paper. There was a story there about a fly that its eyesight was bad or something, and they've made it a pair of glasses, and it had a picture of a housefly wearing.
Okay, this is incredible,
Glasses.
Steve. Can I take over?
Hang
here?
on, let me just need to finish a couple of questions for that. So there's a small fly and they've made it a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
So that it can see better.
Yeah.
And your concern is what?
Well, again, it's just that thing of we're looking after everything now, aren't we?
Sorry, I've got to come in here, Steve.
All right.
I showed you
You
the story.
saw it, you saw
It was
it.
a picture of a housefly
Fly,
with a pair of glasses,
glasses
right?
on, yeah.
Right. It was about a one-sentence thing. It was about how far technology's come,
Yeah,
and
and
a
we're
group
helping
of
flies
scientists
out.
using microscopy, right, and laser tools had. As an exhibition, shown that they could make a pair of glasses smaller to fit on a hat. They put it on there and they've taken a picture of it, and it's on display. At no point was it actually, because the fly had bad eyesight, the fly was presumably dead, it was purely an art installation or a show of technology.
I thought you were going to say, Rick, that you'd drawn the glasses on there.
Yeah.
And he believed it like, there's a bearded lady in this paper. No. My God, Tony Blair looks like Adolf Hitler. No.
What do you think of that, though?
But they did
Well,
it as an
flies out.
experiment.
Yeah, but all things start as an
But
experiment.
why would they make a pair of glasses for a fly?
How would they know he had a bad eyesight?
How would they know it was the same fly?
bumping into stuff? I don't know.
Bumping into stuff.
It's just that thing, innit, of human nature is something's wrong with something, let's fix it. And they try and help people out all the time, don't they? When you know, we're always doing it. We're always trying to help people out instead of just going, you've been dealt a duff card, cope with it. Came up with a good idea.
We'll be the judge of that.
I'll do it now. It's not a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sticking my neck out here. I think this isn't going to be a good idea.
Okay.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to second that motion.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if we're both right.
See-through skin.
High five, Rick.
We've had a few emails about the old shows. People came into them late in the season.
Did I not tell you this? We had an email from an Inuit.
Really?
Yeah. I thought I'd mentioned this. Have we not mentioned this before?
No.
No, it was an email from a guy who said, I don't think he lives in Canada, I think, or somewhere else. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. But I think he said he was half Inuit, and he listens to the show.
Half Inuit? See, that's interesting because I think of them as so remote. I know I'm probably wrong now, but I think of those as so remote that I can't think where they're meeting people who aren't
That are also Inuit, yeah.
Oh, and who's going, other societies are going, I'll tell you what, I'm fed up, there's no action here, I'm going to the frozen tundra, I'm bound to meet someone there.
Yeah.
Where do they meet? Do they do online dating? What
Probably a lot of online stuff.
do you put as hobbies? Fishing?
Yeah. Skinning stuff.
Skinning stuff, yeah. What else stuff to skin?
Seals.
Seals, yeah, sure. That's about it, isn't it?
Why are they hanging about round there? Why aren't seals going, do you know what, it's cold, I'm sick of it here. It's windy all the time, what have you, and I'm getting a club on the head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're meant to be quite bright in terms of animals and that, aren't they?
Yeah.
So why are they knocking about them parts?
I don't know.
Say, like, if seals died out, right? Would that be a problem?
We've done this.
We've been through this before, Karl.
Everything has a knock-on effect.
Even a seal, that's sort of in between something already. It's between a fish and a dog, isn't it?
I knew you were going to say dog.
It's not between a fish and a dog. What do you think evolution does?
I'll never understand it. Maybe we
What
shouldn't
do you
talk
mean
about it.
it's between a fish and a dog?
I'm just saying it's.
It was a perfectly evolved mammal that re-entered the water, I imagine, and then got streamlined. And I mean, it's between a fish and a dog.
But why not have one and the other? Why not have, you've got a dog, you've got a fish.
No, it's not
Anything in the
between a
middle.
fish and a dog. It's not between a fish and a dog. I don't know what between means. I don't know what...
This is it again about saving everything all the time. What is it doing? What's it doing? Everyone's feeling sorry for him all the time. Save the seal and all that. What's it doing? Why are we saving it? Let's just ask that question. What's it doing?
I don't know what to say. It's between a fish and a dog.
Out of all the people in the world to have a chat with, do you know, what's his face? That German doctor.
Which one? The guy that displays the human body?
Guns Traven or something.
All right, yeah.
Well, I don't. Is he a proper doctor? Because it's just that it's always. I mean, I could cut a body up. I never see him sort of put it back together. Is anyone keeping an eye on him? Sort of going, well, who is he actually?
I'm sure he is a proper doctor.
I mean, he doesn't answer everything. Like, he doesn't say. I don't understand why the intestines have to be that long. I don't know why it just can't go from the throat to the belly, exit straight dark line down, out the arse.
You must know.
Well, no, because the way he dragged it out, and it was like miles long.
Yeah.
Pointless.
No, it's not pointless. It's
Just have a straight. Do you know what I mean?
It's
Straight.
what are you talking about? Again, the evolution sort of worked this out for us. It really works.
I don't think you're going to improve on it.
What I mean is that's probably that long because years ago they were eating dinosaur, and that might have took a lot of indigestion or something. I don't know how chewy it was. It might have been quite fatty, dinosaur meat, and it needs to go through all that. Now we're eating like yogurt. So I mean, we don't need anything that is doing that much work anymore. All the food is mashed up. Auntie Nora, right? All her food is mashed. Right? She doesn't have to chew anymore. She's got teeth, but she doesn't need them. And that's how
She's got teeth, but she don't need them.
No, but that's how we're
she could have
moving
her
on.
intestines removed then.
Well, no, but this is
That
what I'm
would sort
saying.
our other problem, wouldn't it?
We're changing everything all the time, aren't we? I mean, there's some fella who was looking at on the internet, identical twins, right? They were sort of sick of looking like each other, so they were like, "What can we do?" Right? And one of the twins said, "You have my arm," right? And he had his arm taken off and stuck on his twin, so his twin's got like 3 arms.
No, it's not true.
It's on the website.
No, it's not true.
What, for a laugh? They were born, so
what,
they didn't have
no,
to
but
laugh.
just like-
what doctor's doing this then?
Well, they're old enough to sort of say this is what we want, and
No. Doctors don't go, well, if he wants another arm and I'll take they don't. Doctors don't do that. What sort of practice is this doctor going around and go,
Dr. Jekyll?
I mean, Karl, think of what you're saying.
but
where would he have stopped? Can you put his head on my knee? It's up to you.
No, but
Sign this. If you sign this, you give my consent.
but we, it isn't.
What do you think these doctors are doing?
Just to do as they're told.
They don't do as they're told.
They do if someone wants it, and twins sort of it can get you down, can't it? Being a twin, because it's like.
Sorry, what would this solve though? I thought you said he gave one of them a bigger nose or a beard or 2 front teeth to make them look different, right? Not. I'll tell you what we could do. Go on. Would you like one arm? Go on. What are you thinking? Well, me 3, you 1. Therefore, not twins.
Novelty.
I mean, you are a mental man.
But they can do it now, can't they? There's no sort of there's no line drawn anymore. They don't go, "You're crazy. We're not going to do that."
Yeah, in Saw 2, not in the real world.
No,
they
but-
don't do things like
All
this.
right, there's another bloke, right? I don't know the sort of full ins and outs of it,
Go on, you surprise me.
but what he asked for, something happened to his tackle, right?
It's penis.
Yeah, right. So he was at the doctor's, and they were like, "Oh, what can you do for me? It's a bit embarrassing. I've got nothing down there." Right. So they were like looking at it, going, "Yeah." Doctor, I don't know if he started like rubbing his chin with his finger or something. Looked down. He's thinking, got an idea. You've got a lot of fingers. How many of them do you use? The patient's like, yeah, I see what you're thinking. They cut off one of his fingers, sewn that on to where his tackle is. He's happy.
Well, that's different though, isn't it?
Well,
That's where they've
really
taken
different.
tissue. I know, but I assume they fashioned it into more of a knob than a finger.
If you were doing that, use a sausage. I mean, why lose a finger?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because your finger has your tissue, your blood type, and therefore would graft near your testicles. A sausage is a thing that's made by a butcher out of offal, okay, that really can't be grafted onto any part of the human body. That's why they very rarely use any meat products in surgery. I know, yeah. Well, I mean, why not use a sausage? You're a mental case.